serious? It's light! It's alright. This is Running Shoes Guru's unfiltered review of the Garmin Forerunner 165 sports watch. No gifting, no endorsements, no BS, just real runners reviewing running things. I'll take you through the design, pros, cons both on and off the run, and then we'll round it all off of which runner would get the most out of this Forerunner 165 model. Ready? Let's go! Opening the box, I was immediately, disappointed. More matte plastic and a pretty bland vibe to it, and quite childlike with the light blue button. Maybe that's me, but I wasn't much of a fan. The design and layout of the buttons are exactly the same as other models, 2 on the right and 3 on the left. There's a satisfying click to the buttons, you hear that? And the touchscreen is reactive for most part. It's exceptionally light. It's really hard to say. Just 39 grams and compact in a tiny 43 by 43 millimeter casing and just 11.6 millimeters thick. Teeny tiny! Rich comment coming from me. The 165 screen edge doesn't dip like the 265 did. Hallelujah! But there is the black border, the same on every model. It's making the display really tiny indeed. I suppose it serves a purpose having the button's actions inscribed on it, but do we really need that to make this 1.2 inch glass screen even smaller? Yes, the background is my dog, and it's an upgrade of the Garmin's being able to use a photo of the watch face. It's a nice touch. To finish off, the straps are silicone, interchangeable, and make the watch super comfortable and snug, which is imperative for runners. Start off with the pros on the run. As standard, there are 3 on-the-run data fields, the what I call everything watch face, and then there's a less hectic face followed by a please let me forget I'm running face, which is just a clock. But you can add more, and here is when the watch, I think, levels up. You need to know what you want, what stats you really need to hone in the superpower of this 165 model. The standard faces would suit most hobbyist runners, but Pace Pro, cadence-specific stats and graphs of all kinds can live on your wrist as you go, and that's not for the beginner or the faint-hearted, that's for sure. The second massive pro on the run is the heart rate readings. Wow, okay, I was so shocked. It was on par with my chest strap, nearly beat perfect. I think it was like 1 beat out here and there, and that's it. And that was over a tattoo. Eureka! Garmin, I knew you could do it! I was rooting for you all along. Pros off the run. The women's health section has improved from a rather useless tracking system to now actual symptom check-ins and advice on the phases and type of training that would possibly suit you today. I get this is a minefield and trying to quantify, but you can see the progress, and that for me is fantastic. I would say a huge pro is how light this thing is. It's ridiculous. Honest to God, you don't know you've got it on. I promise. It's the lightest thing. Onto the run cons then. Navigation. Why on earth are we still here, Garmin? How can I stand in the exact same spot I started the run and still be 13 or 15 feet away? How? The lack of development in the GPS system is shocking. I know this system doesn't work well on the trails, so I tried on the streets, and honestly, no better at all. I retraced my steps exactly, and 1, it wasn't bothered if I crossed the road. Suntoe would have been. 2, it totally failed to actually record my route in a residential town. In fact, about 1/3 to half a mile down this back alley, retracing the exact steps even on the side of the road, I finally realised I was en route. Come on, it's 2024. Can't we do better than that?
Yes, please. Can we do that, please?
So for cons off the run, training load. Okay, every experienced runner knows the importance of recovering and the art of balancing training with rest. Exactly. Experienced runners do know this. They're aware. Or they're using the likes of Whoop or the Oura Ring to help harness their recovery. So perhaps Garmin were aiming for those types of runners who don't want to fork out, over $500 for recovery stats when they don't even want it. Makes sense. I mean, Coros have done it. Except the exact same price, you can now get training load and recovery data on the Coros app, leaving Garmin behind. Yikes. It's a bit mental to let you have every kind of metric under the sun except your training load or training status. There's got to be a reason for it. My verdict. For that reason, I think the Forerunner 165 is very much Garmin's response to the Coros Pace 3. I think they're both at the same price and offering very similar features, but Garmin are doing bad versions of it compared to Coros. I mean, one, the battery life of the 165 has about 9 days in it without notifications and the always on screen. Coros has about 24 to 30 days. The navigation is useless. I'm sorry Garmin, but come on. 3, somewhat limited structured training plans from Garmin, especially for the longer distance runners. If you're a 5k runner, 10k, even half marathon runners, don't fret, you're covered. But anything beyond that, sort of you're kind of left. But basically the Garmin Forerunner 165 is not a hand-holding watch. This watch cares less about your recovery, cares less about the general crowd-pleasing data, less about guiding you through a training plan and keeping your training balanced. Instead, it's begging to be channeled into a specific region of training with copious amounts of specialized data fields just ready to roll. I'm talking like a vertical oscillation, vertical ratio, stride length, ground contact time, graphs. I mean, who needs that kind of data? An experienced runner, road or trail, who's trying to nail a painfully specific performance metric or change the way they're approaching training. You can really hone in on the likes of cadence or ground contact time and understand those minuscule benefits of where you can shave like half a second. Perhaps even a track runner, they need the tiniest of marginal gains. So what do you think of the 165? Were you surprised to see the recovery metrics completely wiped away as well? Are you a fan of how small this thing is? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more top running tech and shoe reviews. See you soon.